It's a new day today. We had our first night on the cruise ship last night, but we didn't actually get a whole lot of sleep. We were up at 3 o'clock this morning because we had to come to this amazing place that was a 3.5 hour drive from
Aswan.
From Aswan.
Yeah, so we had to get up super early, but totally worth it. Have a look.
Hold on.
No, not yet. No.
3.5 hour drive, and we were also stuck on the road for about 1 hour. So as you drive into this area, there's lots of checkpoints, but there appeared to be like a main one where everybody was lining up to go. And then as things started to move, everybody started to get closer and closer to the checkpoint and trying to cut people off. And there was a bit of commotion, a bit of fighting.
So, our driver and some other drivers who cut in front of us, like he was trying to put them in their place.
But
so it took an hour. We were just watching this massive argument, and they were still arguing when we got here. Anyway, we're here, and we are at the Abu Simbel temple,
which is right behind us there.
It's massive. There's these 4 massive statues. It's built by Ramses II.
It was, yeah.
Or he had other people build it for him, I'm sure.
Yep.
But it was relocated. This wasn't its original position. It was further down, closer to the water. But when they built the dam, it all flooded, so they had to relocate it piece by piece. It's just incredible that they've done that.
Yeah. And what's really interesting about Ramses II is like he just loved himself so much. Apparently, he had this whole thing made just for him. So there's like statues and carvings of him everywhere. Everywhere you look, that they're his.
I forget how many wives he had, but apparently
200. Wasn't it 200
children?
Yeah.
And who knows how many wives?
Yeah.
So.
But he was married to Nefertari, and apparently he really loved her.
Yeah, so he's actually built a temple just for her, the only wife who got a temple out of all his wives. And we're going to go check that out next.
That's right.
Just over that way. Behind that wall. So we'll go check that out. Actually, before we go, you were talking about the
so
inside there's
2 really cool things about this place. So obviously, you got the statues at the front, which are about 20 meters tall. But when you go inside, at the very back of the temple, there's a room called the sanctuary room. And it's a very special room because of where it was positioned. It only gets light inside, natural light from the sun, 2 days in the whole year.
And the light actually shines on the heads or the faces.
Yeah, of 3 of the gods in there.
3 of the gods, and Ramsey, he basically declared himself as a god.
Yeah.
So he's in there as well.
So we thought that was really cool. It just shows how clever they were to, be able to position things and build them around the position of the sun at specific times of the year. Those 2 days when the room does actually light up are 2 important days to him. I think one was his coronation day, and I can't remember what the other one was. But I'm sure that if you want to know more about this,
so much information for us to take in.
Yeah, you could.
We have a guide. He's talked through all the stuff. We've read some signs. But it's a lot to take in.
But very, very cool. So we basically drove 3.5 hours, and we only really got about an hour here. So we're going to move on to the next temple so that we can show you that as well. But so far, our minds are blown. And we also have the, what is it called? The Nasser Lake?
Nasser Lake, yeah.
Yeah, which is apparently the second biggest man-made lake in the world. And it is huge. It's amazing.
There's one man-made lake bigger in China.
Yeah.
It's another thing we learned today. Right, let's go check out this other temple. So we just finished looking at the smaller temple, Abu Simbel, and it was really crowded.
Yeah.
Super crowded. It's much smaller than the other temple, so there's so many people trying to get in there and get a look at the statues towards the end of the temple. Not really that interesting, to be honest.
No, I think after the main event, that one's it's not as great. Yeah. But what is really interesting about it is that Ramses II built that for Nefertari, which is usually not the case. They don't build these kind of things for the queens. And also that at the front, the first 2 statues of Ramses II and Nefertari, they're the same size. And again, it just goes to show how much he loved her and respected her. So that's really, really cool. But we're pretty much done. I would say if you're coming here, make sure that you can get with a cruise ship company that will bring you really, really early on in the morning so that you can avoid the crowds as much as possible. Otherwise, I think it's about in the last half an hour since about 9:30 that the crowds, that the buses have started to arrive.
Another option is that you could stay overnight.
If you can
there are
do
some
that.
hotels, there's an airport here. So if you can do that, it might be a good option.
Yeah, even better.
Get even earlier than the people who have to drive here for 3 hours.
And honestly, you only need about an hour to spend here to see the two temples in depth. And now we have to go back to our meeting point. We're pretty much done with our visit, so literally like 7 hours on a bus.
We're going to head back to Aswan now. Our cruise actually starts today, really. We stayed on the boat last night, but we're cruising today. So we're going to wrap up this vlog here. And
there's more stuff going on this afternoon, I think, so we better.
Our next vlog will be the next part of our Nile River Cruise. All right, so if you haven't already, guys, subscribe to the channel so you can catch our adventures here. All right, thanks for watching.
See you next time.